What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode 16 of Hard Hat Highlights, which is located on our GlazzGuy YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we love for you to subscribe, like, share, comment. And on the Hard Hat Highlights, we kind of unpack a little bit of what's going on during our work week, and then Jason has scoured the internet for some interesting headlines and topics that we get to unpack here. We hope you enjoy this show, but without further ado, Jason Ryback, how the hell are you?
I am doing wonderful.
Well, that's good to hear.
I'm glad you like to hear that.
Yes, I love to hear that.
You know, I took a little heat this week, though.
Why?
I do have to say that.
From who?
My daughter.
Oh, there you go.
My oldest.
Yep. Getting a little mouthy?
She's a little sass, you know.
A little sass?
Yeah. It's
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree?
I'd say that. And you're talking about mom, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, she gave me a little shit. Unbeknownst to me, apparently she was watching some of our content, and last week on the way into school, she made me aware of a story, and I said, you got to send that to me. And I used it on last week's episode. That would be about the scorpion that was found in the Sheen package.
I like that. That was from Liv. Good job, Liv.
That was from Liv, and I got to give her credit because she was just giving me shit, texting me like, thanks, Dad, you used my story and didn't even give me credit. So
keep sending those headlines. And if anybody else out there has interesting headlines that you think we should know or talk about, please feel free to send them in. But good job, Lulu.
Yeah, thanks for being part of Hard Hat Highlights.
Absolutely.
Well, season is back.
It feels it, which I'm excited about. I know a lot of the locals are anxious when the snowbirds leave and it calms down and you can kind of go and enjoy some of the restaurants. But from a entrepreneurship, capitalism perspective, we like when there's action.
It's where our bread is buttered.
Absolutely. And we've noticed a huge uptick in the amount of opportunities coming in this week, along with the amount of jobs that we've collaborated on. And I've also noticed I'm not able to speed up and down 41 as easily. It's not that I'm not speeding, but as easily as I have even so much as 2 weeks ago.
Or as safely.
You can always tell when they're coming back too, because you just see all the car carriers.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of, remember Poltergeist? They're back. So that's good. We're happy there. And if anybody is looking for glass subcontractor, feel free to come by our North Naples showroom. That's where we actually film this. But in the front part of this showroom is where all our offerings are. And we encourage you to stop by, whether it's for glass railings, office partitions, custom mirrors, wine cellars,
or to bust Keith's balls.
Yeah, come on in. Come on in.
I got to give kudos. So did you see over the weekend the Boathouse restaurant in Cape Coral?
Up in flames.
Like, it completely burned.
Yeah, and it has one of those kind of tikis. And that thing was that was a big fire.
It made national news.
Yeah, I saw it all over my my social media feeds.
But on the
bright side, who are you giving kudos to?
I want to give kudos to the owners and management of the Stone's Throw restaurant, another local restaurant.
That is. They're on Cape Coral. They are on Cape Coral Parkway East.
Well,
what did they do?
Stone's Throw went out of their way to reach out to all of the employees who were displaced by this fire.
Respect.
And have offered them jobs to help maintain their livelihood while the boathouse rebuilds, which I thought was really, really cool.
That is cool.
So kudos to Stone's Throw. If you're in the area, make sure you go and visit those workers.
Yep. Especially tip them if they're giving you good service. I know tipping, we've talked about this before.
After they give good service.
Yeah. You have to give the good service in order to get the tip. It's like a bonus.
Yep.
And the better the service, the better the bonus.
I had another interesting thing this weekend.
What happened?
So my little one, 9 years old, is obsessed with Taylor Swift, as you know.
Oh, she's a little Swiftie?
Beyond that.
She's daddy's little Swiftie?
Like every word to every song. Crazy. So one of her best friends actually went to the concert in Miami on Friday. Mm-hmm. and she had been begging for us to take her there. And you know how easy it is to get those tickets.
Didn't you guys went last year, didn't you?
I didn't go.
But
my wife.
I remember it was hell to even try and get tickets. You had to wait in these virtual kind of online rooms waiting to be selected. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing.
It's crazy.
There's a huge demand for these tickets.
Huge. I mean, she played 3 nights in Miami, and it was hard to get tickets.
That's wild.
But this happened to be the first night. And so because her close friend was going, she kept on begging. And then finally she backed off of that, and she asked my wife, Mommy, can we watch the Eras Tour special on Disney Plus on the night when my friend's at the concert?
And so, what is that? Is it just a concert?
It's a concert. Okay. Yeah, it's a live concert. Or, a recording of a live concert.
Sure.
And so my wife relented, and so she's all excited. I get home Friday night, and she's ready to start watching it, and then realizes, on YouTube, there's a live stream of it. What I found fascinating about this live stream, though, there were so many aspects to it that were, I don't even know where to start to unpack it. But like, first off, the footage was very good. It looked like it was professionally done. Probably because it was professionally done. So the girl who was live streaming this, she was live streaming it on TikTok, and she bought the quote unquote cheap seats. So what happens is once they sell out most of the arenas, usually they'll take areas that are kind of behind and tucked off to the side of the stage.
Yeah, because the stage will take up like a quarter of the stadium, and so there's a lot of dead seats over there.
Yeah, so they'll then sell those, face value or maybe a little bit cheaper than what the rest of them were. And that's where this girl was broadcasting from. The reason we were able to see it so well and it looked so good is she was actually filming the Jumbotron screen.
Oh, probably because she couldn't even see the stage where she was at.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird angle, so she was filming the Jumbotron screen.
So she propped her phone up or camera in a way where she could film the whole thing off the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, and so while this is going on, we hear at one point go, 1 million likes, thank you so much. I'm like,
holy shit.
Now, normally I think that is just kind of a, bullshit flex, but I believe it.
Oh my God.
I believe it. And so there's that. Then I'm thinking, how the hell is this girl getting away with this? Because it's got to be some sort of copyright infringement, no?
I would think so. I didn't know you could do that, but it's getting my wheels turning. I mean, to get 1 million likes streaming a concert like that, that's...
Well, my wheels were turning too, and something caught my eye, and then I put 2 and 2 together.
What?
It's pretty brilliant, actually. The girl, because she was doing it on TikTok, was using some sort of filters. Every now and then, you'd see like Taylor Swift would have a mustache and a sombrero, or there'd be like a little fish swimming off on the side. Well, now she can claim it for her own. It's her own art.
She's repackaging what's on there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's smart. That's guerrilla marketing.
Well, let's take that a step further.
Sure.
We weren't watching this on TikTok. We were watching this on YouTube.
Oh, so somebody else was taking... So she was taking Taylor's live streaming. Somebody identified, holy shit, there's a lot of people here. I'm going to go ahead and live stream her live stream.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there was a guy that put it up, and then, I guess to get around it, he put a little box in the corner with, the camera just on him, so you had to watch him stupidly dancing around and doing dumb shit.
But that's the way that they could get around it.
That's how he got around it. And so in the meantime, what's happening is this girl who's out, doing the work, brilliantly enough, she is not paying full price because she's getting the cheaper seats. She's zooming in on the professional content, so she doesn't have to worry about that. And then if she's monetized, she's collecting at a pretty good clip.
Yeah.
Now this guy comes over here and he's got the YouTube. If he's monetized, he's collecting off of her.
What a great idea. I love it. I know what you're saying too, because a lot of times they used to start before like football game stuff. You weren't allowed to record it and republish it because of copyright infringement, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But I could set up a camera on Thursday nights, like tonight. If we were doing this Hard Hat Highlights, we could set up a camera on my television to live stream the football game with us down in the corner, just
like a Manning cast.
Yeah, like a Manning cast and poking fun of it.
That's what it seems like.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe YouTube might cancel your account at some point, but it seems like that's what works.
Oh, good for her.
Speaking of canceling, I gotta say something, and it's probably gonna piss some people off.
Oh, I like this. Finally, let's get it. What is it?
All you cancel culture people out there.
Oh yeah,
What are we doing?
yeah.
What are we doing?
Okay, what came up?
Just fucking stop.
Yep.
Delta Airlines had to remove a passenger recently who was a Marine Corps veteran.
Oh, I love the Marines.
They removed her. Her name, I believe, was Catherine Banks. Removed her for wearing a shirt that read, quote, "Do not give in to the war within. End veteran suicide."
What's so controversial about that?
Oh, I don't know. A flight attendant felt fucking threatened.
And she got kicked off the flight because
She
of that?
got kicked off the flight.
Shame on the pilot, because I think he's the one that has the final say on that. For him to listen to that attendant instead of saying, "We're not throwing a veteran Marine off of here for that shirt."
Well, if the pilot did have final say, usually they're veterans. A lot of them are veterans.
Yeah, that's shame on them. Shame on Delta. I don't fly Delta anyway.
Why would you do that? Like, this is a veteran who was out there fighting for your right to have your shitty opinion and be threatened by things.
I'm not worried about cancel culture because I don't give in to that. Like, even if we were shamed for anything, I didn't give two shits. And it's like they attack people that are willing to kind of capitulate with these things. You know what I
You're
mean?
right. You're absolutely right.
So
Yeah,
I don't fear that.
It's like when you're a kid, you know,
The bully.
little bully's picking on you, and it's like you either fight back or you just leave it alone and ignore it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't bother you, they're just gonna stop.
Exactly.
But one way or another, this shit has to end. Like, I was watching the Yankees the other day, and
Oh, congratulations to you going to the World Series.
thank you.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna cancel, at least be fucking consistent. Like, I'm watching the Yankees playing the Guardians.
The Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah. Because,
Former Cleveland Indians, as we know them.
yeah, it's too offensive, right? And you, like, I don't understand this. Like, look at the Washington Commanders. Did you see this recently about the Redskins / Commanders? The family of the Indian chief that they use, and yes, I use the word Indian. I do have Native American blood, so I'm allowed to do that. The Indian chief who was part of the Redskins logo, the family came out and said, nobody's offended by that. We're not offended by that. Nobody in our tribe is. None of our friends are. We want this name back. Bring this name back. Commanders is stupid.
It's stupid. The Washington Redskins was a great name. And like you said, there's been multiple stories about the people within the, I don't even know how to play this. It's the Indian community said that they have no problems with this whatsoever. So if that's the case, why are the New York Yankees? Isn't that a derogatory term?
It is. It was an insult originally.
Who started that?
In 1758, there was a British general named James Wolfe who used that as a derogatory term towards the American revolutionaries.
So the Redcoats were using the term Yankee as a derogatory term, but yet the New York Yankees still exist.
Yeah.
So what's the over-under on when that name's going to get changed?
I don't know, but if that ever changes, I'll never watch baseball ever again in my life.
I've never heard anybody talk about that one. I've heard about the Indians and the Redskins.
Yeah, why is that?
But I have no idea. And it's never anybody that is an actual, has Indian or Native American blood in them. They're not the ones saying it, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
However, I've never heard anybody talk about the New York Yankees being a derogatory term, even though we know it is. If that gets changed, that's your favorite team, this could be the catalyst for that, just so you're aware.
Yeah, if you're going to change it, go ahead, change the name of the Dodgers. I don't even know what the hell that means, but change the name of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
By the way, did you know that there's one person in Major League Baseball history who has ever won the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young in the same year?
I've only know 2, maybe 3 pitchers for Dodgers. And if he's dead, 63. Fernando Valenzuela.
Fernando Valenzuela, yes.
It is.
That is correct.
Lefty.
And he just died this week at 63 years old.
That's young.
So rest in peace.
R.I.P. That's young. But they're going to the World Series.
They are. They're going to lose in the World Series this week.
How many World Series the Dodgers won? They've won a couple.
Yeah, I don't know quite how many. Not as many as the Yankees, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, in other sports news, you're familiar with Rashee Rice, the wide receiver from the Kansas City Chiefs.
I am.
Very, very good young slot receiver. He's actually injured, going to be out for the rest of the year. But his mom made some news. So,
I'm a Rice.
Well, it's funny you say that. So back on October 2nd, there was a video that circulated via TMZ and a few other places where it showed, her name's Marsha Kearney, Rashee Rice's mother, stealing a neighbor's package from in front of the door. It was like doorbell cam footage of her stealing a package. She walks by, she notices it, she walks back and she kind of kicks it off to the side, kind of thinking she's out of camera's view, and then picks it up and leaves. And the kicker is, she tried to be real subtle about it, but she was wearing a custom jersey that said Mama fucking Rice on the back of it.
Way. You can't even make that up.
Like, how stupid do you have to be? I mean, you gotta be stupid to steal a package from someone's doorstep to begin with. But then to be in the position you're in, your son's an NFL star. I'm sure there's no shortage of funds there.
Yeah, I know. What the hell could she possibly have been stealing that was left on the doorstep of somebody else? Couldn't have been that valuable. So what the hell was it?
Apparently, it was 2 limited edition vinyl records from Chapel Rowan.
What the hell's that?
That's exactly what I said. I know the kids will know who that is, but
Sounds stupid.
I'm sure it is stupid.
So let's just unpack this real quick. Professional wide receiver
Yeah.
who, at a minimum, even league minimum, which I don't think he's getting paid, is making millions of dollars a year.
Right.
And his mother, who has a custom jersey, that supports him. So obviously there's a good relationship there. So usually a lot of these players always take care of their mother, as they should.
Mama.
But Mama wasn't happy with that. She needed a little more. And she decided to go steal the neighbor's Amazon package.
She's got to have a sickness, an addiction, because what the fuck are you going to do with that?
That's stupid. Is this the first time anything's ever happened to her?
No. Oddly enough, this is not the first time she's done something like this. Earlier this year, she went to court for stealing some household items from another neighbor.
Somebody's got some sticky fingers. Maybe that's why the son's such a good receiver.
Well, we know her son's also been in a bit of trouble. Like, he was involved in a drag racing incident in the offseason and caused a couple major accidents, then fled on foot. He's being investigated by the NFL right now. Probably get suspended next year.
Maybe KC should hire the mom to be on the sideline to try and steal the signals from the opposing teams.
I could tell you if the mom was in the NBA, she'd lead in steals.
Okay.
But it seems like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
In a quite opposite situation, here in Florida, there was an upstanding 40-year law enforcement vet who had to turn in his own daughter.
Oh, shit.
For murder.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, the Colonel Arajo, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm probably wrong.
Yeah.
Learned his daughter Christina had been in a throuple.
A what?
A throuple.
What is a throuple?
You don't know what a throuple is?
I've never heard the term. I'm questioning whether you're pronouncing it right.
It's pronounced properly. I'm trying to remember the name of there was a lawmaker who was involved in, I believe from California, involved in a throuple.
What is it?
So it's like a couple, but there's 3 people involved. So you're in
It's a threesome.
It's a relationship.
Man, people are fucking weird.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, so this girl is in a throuple.
She's in a throuple and everything's going great. But
So it's a guy, it's got a girlfriend, and he's got another girlfriend, but everybody knows about this.
yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, he's I mean, I'm sure he refers to himself as a stud, but whatever. Weird shit. Anyhow, they're in this throuple. Things are going great, but then he started to get a little chippy between the two girls, and eventually got heated, and Christina actually killed the other girl in a hotel room and left her there. So her and the guy went and told a friend of theirs about what they had done. And I guess like growing up and through the whole time that they knew this Christina, she had always bragged that, you know, her dad was in law enforcement, and, you know, kind of used it like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I'm touchable.
The only problem is that friend went and told her father. Her father went and turned her in.
Oh, wow. Wow, so he was a career guy, company guy. So he...
What would you do in that situation? It's such a moral conundrum. Like,
Okay, well, you mean what would I do in the situation of if my daughter committed murder and I found out? I would say, first of all, I would want to know more about the situation.
Right.
If I could justify in my mind, and I know this will probably go over like a fart in church, if I could justify the person's murder, I definitely wouldn't turn her in. But if it was something malicious, you know, where it was planned and premeditated to do,
yeah.
and then I knew about it, you know, that's a tough, like you said, that's a moral conundrum. I don't know what I would do. I have to be put in that situation. I wouldn't be happy about it. I know that.
I mean, listen, we raise, I mean, I know I can speak for you as well. We raise our kids to do the right thing, and that there are consequences for their actions. So there's that part of it. However, like you said, it would depend on the situation. If, let's just say, you know, one of my daughters was
Stalked.
involved with someone, she was stalked, or she was involved with someone who was beating the shit out of her. And
Yeah,
like, you know,
I would have no problem with it.
No,
I mean, I'm not advocating it, but I wouldn't go tell.
I think if that happened, and, you know, and God forbid one of my daughters had to take it into their own hands, and that were the case, I'd be the first one there with a bag of lime and a shovel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But girls, behave.
Yes, and
we're not condoning anything.
Definitely not condoning any thruples. That is just whack.
You didn't think you'd hear that today, did you?
No.
Well, speaking of protecting our children, a few weeks ago we spoke about ChatGPT and how its latest update had a voice to it, and some people were actually developing relationships with the AI bot. Well, a Florida mother here is suing a company called Character.ai for allegedly causing the suicide of her 14-year-old son.
Okay, because someone died in here, I do want to say that I feel bad for the family that they lost a child.
Yeah.
But having a relationship with an AI bot, like, something's off. Now, I will say, words are powerful. We know that, you know, the emotional intelligence people, you know, maybe this is borderline hypnosis, for crying out loud, but what the hell is going on? Where are the parents to find out that the child has basically a verbal relationship with a chat bot?
Well, that's the thing.
Weird.
It is weird, but if you think about it, right? I mean, I'm sure when you were a kid, you had posters that maybe you cut some holes in, or, you know, tried to kiss or something, right?
I don't think so.
When you're 14 years old, you're just kind of getting into your puberty, and you're and so I don't know. I mean, I can see a little bit of it. I'm not saying I would fall in love with an AI character, but I can see where if the kid's not getting that attention, you know, personally, somewhere in school with other, you know, girls or anything like that, and then he's got this quote unquote relationship going on. This poor kid, Sewell Setzer's his name. The mother says that the company targeted her son with hypersexualized, frighteningly realistic experiences. Like, that's, I don't know. I can see where being a 14-year-old kid, you know, you're kind of
impressionable.
You got a lot of hormones going on there. But yeah, in April 2023, he started having conversations with chatbots, and they were often like text-based romantic and sexual interactions. But he ended up developing a relationship and becoming attached to one bot in particular. It went by the name of Daenerys, who took a name from Game of Thrones. The parents did notice he would spend a lot more time alone in his room, and he seemed like he was lacking self-esteem. What they didn't know is he was expressing thoughts of suicide, and he was telling the chatbot this, his, you know, quote unquote girlfriend, and the chatbot kept bringing it up. And
so just seeding it and seeding the opportunity.
Because I mean,
how did he take his life?
He ended up a self-inflicted gunshot wound in February of this year. And apparently he did it after the chatbot had repeatedly encouraged him to do so. Like, what the fuck?
That's scary.
Like, that is like beyond scary.
All the more reason to have good communicating relationships with your kids.
Absolutely.
At all times.
And even if you do, it doesn't hurt. Like, I don't want to be like a helicopter parent, right? But it doesn't hurt to check in every now and then and see what they're up to. Because, you know, I'm sure that this mother had a great relationship with her son, but maybe the feelings he was having were not something he wanted to share.
There is a fine line between the helicopter, because think about this. Well before ChatGPT, helicopter parent doesn't let the kids do anything because they're fearful that, you know, the world's going to crash and hurt their child, you know, especially their first child. They don't let them do anything. They don't interact. They don't go anywhere. Now that kid gets older, has no social skills, has no ability to assimilate around other friends, and then gets depressed and takes their life. So you could see where that would almost happen.
Yeah.
So, but yet you don't want to just give them free reign to do whatever the hell they want either. So I hear what you're saying.
Listen,
it's sad. It's sad.
No one ever said it was easy being a parent.
Oh my gosh.
But one thing is, you should always check in and see how they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh. In brighter news.
Yeah, give us some good news. That was heavy.
Gen Z is reportedly showing more interest in the trades.
Let's go. Let's go. Get your hands dirty.
You and I have talked about that several times.
Huge supply and demand. We need more people in the trades.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while that we've really been lacking that the people for skilled trades.
Yep.
So it's really good to hear. There was actually just a Harris poll that was conducted by more than 2,000 adult Americans, and it's 78% of them noticed a rising interest in trades among the youth. On average, you know, roughly 25% of Americans make a plan to join the trades. So we're already at a disadvantage to begin with.
Yep.
But the bright note is, when it comes to Gen Z and millennials, that number jumps to 50%.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Isn't it?
That's huge. That's really good.
What do you think is driving that?
That's a good question. You know, I don't know if the curriculum and the way they teach in schools and college has just gotten so bland and computer based that they're just like, high school was just enough. They're like, I don't want any more of this, and I definitely don't want to go pay to get any more of this. I'd rather go and start earning my own money and working, and I'll get into the trades.
I could see that.
I don't need a college degree to do that. I can start now.
I could see that.
Yeah, or maybe they want their independence quicker. And, you know, the parents are like, I'm not fucking paying for you to go to school. You want to go to school, you get scholarships, get side jobs, pay for it yourself. Maybe that's the case too. You know, the cost of living's gone up. You know, inflation's gone up. It's, you know, if your daughter says to you tomorrow, "Hey, I want you to send me. I want to become a Tennessee Vol," and you're gonna have a tab for $80,000 a year. You know, are you ready to drop that kind of money on college?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I don't know that you'll ever be ready to drop that amount of money on college, but yeah, these kids, I think one of the other things they're citing is job security, job availability, more comfortable work-life balance. So I think the rise that we're seeing here is mainly attributed to things like that. I mean, 21% of Americans see trade jobs more favorable than corporate jobs. So when you get to millennial and Gen Z, these numbers jump up to 31% and 23% respectively. So that's
happy. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
that's good.
Also, there was a survey by Credit Karma that found that more than half of Gen Z and millennials do not see the value in a 4-year college degree. So you're absolutely right about that.
It's coming. It's coming. You know, it was such a social norm for people to, you got to go to college. You got to go to college if you want to be successful. And we just know that's just a rouge. It's probably necessary for certain niche jobs within, you know, adulthood, if you will, in the job market, but it's not necessary.
Right.
And especially with Google and YouTube, I mean, if you're really interested in learning something, you can learn almost anything you want online right now. You don't have to pay somebody $100,000 a year to, of course,
anything.
Doctor. You're right. You could learn anything, but some professions, I still think mandated degree, and I understand that.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, you got to have a degree or some sort of like a license or
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look at the freaking guy we talked about that was cloning sheep. Like, come on. You just learn it on YouTube?
Probably.
Not on this channel.
No, and I'm not going to even search those things. I don't want that in my query. All right,
With
what's
sheep,
next?
Aren't they already there? Well, in our trade, one of the main things that we do is wine rooms.
Ooh, I love me some wine rooms.
But I can tell you we've never seen anything quite like this. The world's oldest bottle of wine.
Ooh, I like a little bit of trivia like this. Go ahead.
The world's oldest bottle of wine was recently found, and it was still preserved in its liquid form.
Would you drink it?
How much are you going to give me?
I don't know. Bryce and I, many years ago, had a bet, and he found a beer in his house that was like 8 years old, and we did a rock, paper, scissors, and I had to drink it, and I couldn't even get it part of the way down, and came right back up. So anything that old, now I know wine's supposed to age well, but 2,000-year-old bottle of wine.
Wait, I got to go back. So that beer, would you say that was better or worse than the apple juice from the Drywallers?
Way worse. Okay. It was brutal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, archaeologists in Carmona, Spain, found the 2,000-year-old bottle in a mausoleum.
Wow. 2,000-year-old bottle.
Yeah.
What's a mausoleum?
Where dead people are.
Okay.
So an analysis confirmed that it was indeed white wine, despite it being dark in color.
Must have been the glass or cork or something.
No, actually, I think it would probably had something to do with the cremated human remains they found in the bottle.
No shit.
Isn't that fucked up?
So I don't understand. They made
so wine was customarily used in Roman burials to help the dead move on to the afterlife.
Like so you can have an eternal buzz?
I guess.
Or celebrate once you get to the upper room with Jesus.
But yeah, it was used for that, but it's unprecedented that mixing the remains in the bottle of wine, they've never seen that before.
So somebody was cremated and then put into the bottle of wine, which was then corked and put in this mausoleum, and then 2,000 years later, It was recently found. What? So they
That's right.
dug up this person, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, you have archaeologists that are always excavating to find different things from our past, and and that's how we learn about history a lot of times. So they ended up digging up this, and they noticed there was liquid in it, and it turned out to be a white wine, darkened by the human remains.
Oh, wow.
But scientists believe that may have actually played a vital role in preserving that wine for 2,000 years.
The human remains.
The human remains.
Wow.
Hopefully you don't piss off any of our wine enthusiast customers.
Yeah. Definitely won't be doing that.
You ever see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Of course. Great movie. Great series of movies.
It was like one of my favorites still to this day. You remember the part where he finds the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
So that was actually filmed in Jordan in an area called Petra.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that may not be that far-fetched. In 2003, 2 tombs were unearthed at that very site. At that time, it suggested that maybe there was more undiscovered secret underground chambers. That remained a theory for 20 years until August of this last year. And archaeologists had come across a long-forgotten ancient tomb. In that tomb, they found many skeletons, but one skeleton in particular they found was grasping a chalice eerily similar to the one from the movie from 1989.
You got to be kidding me. This was just this past August?
Yeah.
At the same place they
At
originally...
the same place, they said that the chalice was nearly identical to that from the movie.
All right, I'm going to just go out there and say this
Yeah.
now. I want to believe this. It's cool. But out of all the places in the world to find something like that, it's found at the same place that they filmed this original movie. So because I'm a very cynical individual,
Yeah.
the first thing in my head is, are they filming another Indiana Jones right now? Number one. Because if that's even on the docket, then I would say this is planned.
Okay. Well, it's interesting you brought up filming because I believe that this excavation was actually televised on Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown.
Okay, but still, I mean, before the cameras go on, something could be put there. Are they filming a Indiana Jones movie as we speak, or is there plans for one to come out this year?
I have no idea.
All right, we're going to have to look into that.
I have no idea.
I mean, I love this story. It's cool. I can't wait to see this thing. But it just seems odd out of all the places in the world to dig. They dug where that original film found, and then they find almost the same exact thing as the Holy Grail. It's just, it's
quite a coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of art imitating life, but never history imitating art.
yeah, exactly. That's
Man.
good. That's
Well,
good.
On that note, I got to get out of here. I got to go navigate some of that newfound traffic. Hopefully I don't have anyone that pisses me off too much so they end up turning into wine preservatives.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode 16 of Hard Hat Highlights, which is broadcasted on our YouTube channel, GlazzGuy. And if you haven't subscribed, we would love for you to do so. Don't forget to like and comment. But stay tuned until next week. Until then,
See you then.